Hey, welcome to the channel. So today we'll make some sourdough crackers. This is a great recipe for using up your spare sourdough starter. You may have discard from daily feedings, or perhaps a failed overproofed leaven. In any case, these are super simple to make. And if crackers are not your thing, then you can click the link in the top right corner because I have a recipe for sourdough discard pancakes. But for now, let's get on with these. And as always, you'll find all the weights and measurements down in the description box. So let's see the equipment that we'll need. A tray with parchment paper, a bowl, scales, a scraper, a brush, and a rolling pin. And that's it. You probably already have these things at home right now. Now on to the ingredients. You'll need some rye flour, water, you'll need some salt, some bicarbonate of soda or baking powder will work as well. Obviously, you'll need sourdough starter. Black treacle really gives them nice flavor. Or you can use honey if you don't have this. We'll need an egg. This will make the seeds stick to the cracker, some melted butter, and seeds of your choice. I'm using sesame, sunflower, and caraway. So let's begin. Get your bowl, add your water, then in with the salt. Then add a good large teaspoon of treacle. This stuff is super sticky. Now add your butter, and then your sourdough starter. And depending on the consistency of your starter, you might end up adding more flour or more water to the recipe. But generally, if it's not totally runny, this recipe will work with the amounts I've given in the description box. Now give it a good mix, and then add your flour, and then the bicarbonate of soda or baking powder, whatever you're using. This will give the crackers a bit more airy texture. Now get your scraper and mix it all up. Once you're ready, tip it out on your table. This dough doesn't require a lot of work, so we'll just knead it for around 5 minutes or so. And it's not too wet, so I'll just use a regular kneading method. Pressing down and forwards with the heel of my right hand and using the fingers of my left hand, I fold the piece of dough under the heel of my right hand and repeat. The dough should become nice and smooth and soft. And once you're happy with that, shape it into a ball, cover it in cling film, and we'll let it rest for half an hour. Resting will relax the dough, it will make it a lot easier to roll out, and we'll rest it in the refrigerator. And after the first 30 minutes of resting, get your flour and your rolling pin and your tray ready. Grab the dough ball because we are ready to roll. You'll feel that it's become a lot more pliable. There's not a great deal of gluten in this dough because we are using rye flour, and it's quite easy to work with really. What I like to do is using my hands shape it into a rectangle because that is what I want my final shape to be. You can dust it quite well with flour because when we roll it, don't want it to stick to the table. And then grab your rolling pin and start rolling. Roll it evenly, don't press too hard. And once in a while, take a parchment paper and compare it for size. I think this looks about right. These crackers are not too thin, so you don't need to roll them out too much. I'll have the measurements for my tray down in the description. And once you're happy with the size, transfer your dough to the parchment paper. Make sure not to waste those trimmings. They may not be perfect, but they'll still bake up very well. Now transfer your dough to your tray. What I like to do at this point is grab my scraper and cut them in size. You can cut these in whatever shape you like. You can even leave it whole. But I'll just do some little squares this time. And after scoring the dough, we'll cover it and we'll let it rest in the fridge for another half an hour whilst we are preheating our oven. The resting will prevent the dough from shrinking whilst it's baking. So just cover it, pop it in your fridge, and switch your oven on 180 degrees C with the fan on. And whilst that's preheating, get your seeds ready, whisk your egg, and I'm going to top the crackers with some sea salt as well, but that's optional. You can cover them with whatever, it's up to you. So the next step is to prick them with a fork. This will give them an even rise and an even bake. There's no real technique here, just grab a fork and poke them all over. And once you're happy with that, take your egg and brush it all over the surface. This will prevent the seeds from falling off. I will add that you can make this recipe vegan. Just use oil instead of the butter in the dough, and instead of the egg wash, you can use a water and corn flour mix. But once you've brushed your dough, sprinkle it generously with your toppings. And don't be shy with the seeds, you can cover the whole surface. And then finish off with a little bit of sea salt. Once you got all your toppings on there, use the palms of your hands to press them in lightly. Don't press too hard now, but just press firmly enough to fuse the seeds with the dough. We don't want to lose any of these. And that's it, they're ready for the oven. We'll bake these for around 20 minutes. And it's as simple as that. Sourdough discard rye crackers. Just get them out the oven and let them cool down on a rack. And then break them up. Eat them right away, or let them cool down completely and store them in a jar. I like to snack on these with some cream cheese or pate. Or naked, whatever, as long as I can pretend to be healthy, right? And as always, if you have any questions or suggestions, write them down in comments. If you are new to this channel, consider subscribing. Many more bread videos coming up. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.